Oh, yes. This is Goldar, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast. Don't tune us out, tune us in.
What?
We're live.
Okay, sorry. I thought that whole intro was going to play. Sorry about that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this little live stream done for the Toku Secrets podcast. We got Riz on, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, That LoveMuffin, one of the owners of the Morphinominal Expo, the Ranger Fan Con that takes place in San Antonio, and we're doing a little bit of a promotional stream here because if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be a little bit later this month in March that they're doing a little mini expo where they're gonna ahead of where they're gonna be having 5 really awesome guests. So for all the Power Ranger fans out there and even some Sentai fans, you guys want to get a chance to meet Ninja Peter Sudarso or Ninja Steel Blue, Monica May, SPD Yellow. Uh, Sorry about that. What was the name of the actress who was Ninja Steel Pink again?
Christy Ann.
Christiane.
Christiane, yeah. We also have Red Fisher, the Titanium Ranger, and for the Sentai fans, we got a Red Ranger that we just finished talking about in very much depth in our last podcast. The guy who played Sosuke Izumi, everyone's favorite guy coming into America, Mach Full Force. Go on, Red.
Mach Full Force. And yes,
definitely
Mikey,
my favorite.
Yes,
So
Mikey,
excited.
we are live. We are live. Don't worry, we're here in the flesh. You can attempt to ask us stuff, but I may ignore if you ask me stupid questions. And yes, Mikey, Go Onzer is better than RPM.
Oh, and Riz, that reminds me. So this is a very good time for me to bring up that thing I said about Go Under, but I wanted to say,
Okay.
somebody created a chart once that asked the question, "Are you a Sentai purist?" And the first question that they ask in that little chart is, do you think Go Under is better than RPM? And if you say no, then it goes through all these other questions. Da, 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 da. But if you say yes, then it says you're a Sentai purist.
I'm not a Sentai purist. Though.
No,
I like
we're not.
But in this case, I just think over Go Onzer is better. I'm having a hard time speaking right now. It's been a long day. I actually spent the last 2 days doing 8-hour meetings nonstop, and I was the one running the meetings, so
Fun.
little tired. But enough about us and our Go Onzer fandom. We can get into that in more detail in a little bit. We have, as Mason said, the man, the myth, the legend, that amazingly lovable muffin.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
What flavor of muffin are you?
It's gotta be pretty much banana nut bread or blueberry.
You know, you
Gotta
have
be one of the
banana
classics.
You have banana nut bread.
To me, that's just a classic one. That's just the best one to get. Is a banana nut.
I mean, you're not wrong. I love me a good banana nut bread. My close second would not be blueberry though; it would be chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Chocolate muffins, especially if you get it from Sam's Club, and that variety pack with the blueberry, the banana nut, and the chocolate. Those are awesome.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, they're pretty good from Costco too.
Costco ones I've had. I do like those a lot. I haven't had the Sam's Club ones yet.
I think they're the same thing.
Really? Okay.
I mean, they have to be. I don't know, but but yeah. So for those that don't know you, Muffin, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am. How do I put this? I've been a long martial arts fan. So when I was a kid, Power Rangers was just at the right time for me. And just seeing the suits is just something that captivated me. and was just a longtime fan for a while until I guess. I'm trying to find out because I did fall off of it for a while. I want to say it was around Wild Force because I did enjoy Time Force a lot. And then after that, I kind of just waned off of it. Just started, branching off, thinking I was too grown for it, basically. And then I guess, like, thankfully for me, I had like younger siblings. So like over here in Texas, it was KSAT 12. When we had the basic public, when we didn't have any cable, we would just watch every Saturday. Um, Ninja Storm, I think, was the one that got me back into it, where I was kind of watching it with them, and that's the one they grew up with. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, and kind of use it as an excuse to kind of keep watching, but like not admit that like, oh, I still like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I have quite a bit of experience with that.
right, but now I'm just unashamedly a big fan of it. It's kind of what shaped who I am, and same, it just kind of what led me down to kind of meet the people I met today, such as Adam. He actually sold me my first helmet, which is how I ended up meeting him, and we just kind of clicked. It was a Gokai Red helmet from Anarchy,
Ooh.
and that's when I was starting
Awesome.
to get into cosplay myself. And I was like, "Oh, Power Rangers, that would be super dope." And then I looked at how to do it, and I was like, "This is going to be impossible. This is expensive." But
A little bit.
he sold me a helmet for a decent price. And so I was like, I got to jump on it, especially since it's Anarchy. And that's when I was like hearing all the stories of how long he took and everything. That was during the Ranger board days, I want to say.
Oh, dude,
So
the Ranger board
old
days
school.
are
Good
Yeah.
old days.
Yeah.
The good old days. Exactly. So
dude.
ended up connecting with him through there. And I was like, oh, you're from Texas? I'm from Texas too. Like for which parts? At the time I was in Corpus Christi and he was in San Antonio. So I was like, that's a bit of a drive for me, but I can make it happen, especially for an Anarchy helmet.
Yeah.
And
No, definitely.
yeah, and then after that, the rest is history. Now we're putting on this show since 2017, which still blows my mind that we've been doing it for this long.
Dude, that is
Uh,
insane to me that you guys have been doing it this long.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a one-off thing, just to say, yeah, we did it, and then
Yeah.
that was it.
I mean, that's longer than how long Ranger Stop and Pop has been around. So, well, was around. So yeah.
Well, they're entering their
That's
last
true.
year this year.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
And
yeah.
once they're done, we are officially making Morphinominal Expo the new home convention
Yeah.
of the Toku Secrets podcast. So Nathan and I will be teaming up to wreak havoc and chaos all over the great city of San Antonio, giving Adam and Muffin all the hell we can possibly give them.
Let's go. It's
Let's
what
do
I'm
it.
here for.
So, I mean, I'm just kind of sad that the weekend you guys are doing it this time around. I have a family commitment, but you know what? When you guys come back for the fall, your boy gonna be there. We're gonna live it up good.
Wow,
Be
yeah, let's
awesome.
go.
Yeah.
Looking forward
And
to
I
that.
also appreciate it being the big one being next year because it gives me plenty of time to get back on my feet, given some
Right.
stuff that's been transpired in my personal
Yeah.
life recently. So yeah,
Right.
definitely appreciate the timing.
Of course. We're always here trying to make it work for everybody because we know how it gets.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So, I guess we can kind of chat a little bit here for a bit before we kind of talk more about the Morphinominal Expo and get into my fun game that I want to play tonight with you guys.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So Muffin, I know before we went live, you mentioned you'd watched a little bit of Godzilla, but I didn't get a chance to ask you how far had you gotten?
I'm on episode 2, I want to say, that I finished. So I think I'm starting 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you're a little bit ahead of me because I've only seen episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Well, to be fair, I only caught the ending of 1, and then I just decided just to jump into 2.
Oh,
So like the second half of 1, and then episode 2. So I was still kind of like, what's going on here on 2? But that shows a wild roller coaster already.
It's definitely interesting. I'm just kind of hoping that the season goes in the right direction that I hope it will go, because I'm a little concerned right now, if I'm being honest with you, that Go's user will take the anniversary season motif a little too far to try and
Right.
replicate what Go Kaiser had, and I'm just really nervous that's where we're going to end up.
Right. I am curious to see how that's gonna go too, because I was like, are they just gonna basically repeat Go Kaiju and try to do it that way? But it seems like it might take its own little like, because I'm just kind of basing this off the preview for episode 3, where I was like, okay, it's kind of subverting my expectations, where it's like it's not just gonna be them popping up cameos and they're teaming up, and like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little bit more craziness to it. So I am a little bit, I guess I could say, cautiously optimistic about it. But like I'm one for the chaos though. That's how I am. That's why I love Go Andra. I just love the craziness, and it kind of gives me the same vibes as Go Andra with its wackiness, especially in episode 2.
Okay. Well, that gives me some hope and more interest in episode 2. I think part of my interest waned at the end of episode 1,
Right.
just because I don't know. It felt like it was trying too hard to be an anniversary season.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was worried about too. And I was just kind of like, okay, it's just whatever. Second
Yeah.
season, you know, we were showing it for Toku Thursday, and we were just kind of having a blast with that one. We were just, because we were just like, what's all this craziness going on? And I'm just trying to piece what. For me, it was kind of more difficult to kind of piece what was going together, because I don't know if they established a lot of the rules of how the fights are gonna go in the first episode. But second episode, I was like, what are they doing? Or like, what does this even mean? Or why are they doing
Yeah.
this? But like in a semi good way though. It wasn't like too frustrating. I was kind of like, it was just ridiculous. It was just catching me off guard and making me laugh. So
Yeah.
you know, it was more of just like, what? Like that kind of reaction. And I still enjoyed it. So I'm still holding out for it. I don't really have a solid you know, I don't feel one way or the other about it right now, but we'll see. We'll see as it goes on.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's kind of where I'm coming from with it right now. Just wanting to see where we go with it overall.
Right.
Yeah. So I what does the plan look like for the mini expo coming up at the end of the month? Do we got panels? Do we got a cosplay contest? Do we got any?
I believe we just posted the panels actually, if I'm not mistaken, on our page.
Really? Where is this?
Maybe double check on that while I'm chatting, but also like we're trying to make this year more community focused. That's kind of the one thing we've noticed when we because this last year, was it last year or the year before, whatever, the last PMC, we decided to take a trip there, and we went to a couple of different cons just to kind of like hang out, really, just because we haven't, you know, had the time to hang out and just go just, you know, do how we used to do and just relax instead of making it all business all the time. So what we noticed is that a lot of stuff where we were, I guess you could say, kind of lacking, was that we didn't really give too much. Yeah, we do have a panel one on the Facebook page, I see. Yeah. So we weren't we started noticing that people on some of the smaller ones were just kind of like coming in and out real quick, and some were even telling us like, yeah, I saw everything I need to do, so I'm just gonna head out. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, on the ones that we were promoting and stuff. So we want to do more community stuff, have instead of just doing panels where it's just the guests talking, we wanted to do more that people wanted, you know, that the community wanted to do. Like, you know, so you want to go to Japan, the hill you're willing to die on, which I'm kind of looking forward to, because that one's gonna get, you know, pretty heated up, and I'm excited to see the crazy things people are willing to die on. But you know, so we wanted people to do stuff that not necessarily Power Ranger related if they didn't want to, which we ended up getting a lot of anyway. So, you know, that was exciting. Yeah. But we want to do more group activities. You know, we're trying to get the board game going. We're still trying to figure out how to play that thing. And we're gonna get some video games set up. We want to have a couple of of a Rita's Rewind going, so people can just kind of chill and hang out there. Maybe a movie showing room. We're still trying to figure out the layout, so we want to,
Yeah.
get a place where people can just, because we did that like the first year, it was the first or second year where we had just nonstop showing just Sentai all the way through, and that's where a couple of Common Rider fans ended up meeting up, and they had a blast, and they were just kind of going in there because they started seeing Common Rider on the screen. They're like, oh wait, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And then eventually just the group formed that they're like all just Common Rider fans, and then the year after they all came in cosplaying as them as a group, and it was pretty cool to see. So we're gonna focus more, on just having stuff to do other than just go get your stuff signed, go look at the vendors, and go buy art. Like we want you to hang out and chill out and enjoy your company, and you can enjoy ours. So
Yeah, definitely.
we
I
might
think
we might even do a battle for the grid tournament or something like that too. We haven't decided yet.
that would be pretty awesome. I've never played Battle for the Grid, but I mean, I played a little bit in the beginning when it first came out on Switch, but I don't I don't have a lot of time to play video games lately, given
Right.
I work full time and then I'm basically a full time podcaster with Nathan for Toku
Yeah.
Secrets and in our other podcasts we have. So if I'm not recording actively with them, I'm watching something to get ready for the next podcast we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So
Right.
time's a little bit limited for me to go and just play a video game, unless Nathan, we end up just doing a podcast dedicated to Battle for the Grid, which honestly be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Might
That
not be a
totally
bad
sounds-
one.
That'd be
Yeah.
totally awesome.
So looking at your panel list here, I am very intrigued by the over 900 panel because it says over 900 and not over 9,000, and I am positive that this is not a typo, some kind of meme you guys made up. So I'm curious on the lore.
Basically has to do with Tony Hawk landing the 900 from like back in the. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, that one's kind of a mystery to me too, to be honest with you. I saw that one go up there, and I told them like, "Hey guys, like, you do know it's over 9,000?" And they're like, "No, that's what they wanted." And
Yeah.
they said they'd get back to me on what it meant, but they never did. So I was like, okay, because
Yeah.
we had someone else kind of put the schedules for us to this year. So I was like, okay, what's that about? And he's like, it's secret. So I'm kind of in the dark with that one with you guys as well. So I'm very intrigued to see that one. So
Well, I'm glad we're not alone in being in the dark for this.
I'm definitely gonna make time to go check that one out to see.
Also, to answer a quick question, because it's an important question and a good question from our fan Mikey Arigia. He is asking who else will be at the convention this year. And I'm glad he asked because while Nathan mentioned all the Ranger actors who are coming, there is one other person coming to this convention. I don't even know if you know what it's, Nate. I don't think I had a chance to tell you yet. But the man, the myth, the legend, the goat of the Disney era of Power Rangers, Greg Aronowitz, is coming to Morphinominal Expo this month.
He's
Yeah,
one
I've
of the
seen that.
most excited for.
Yeah, I do follow the Morphinominal Expo on my Instagram blog on both my accounts. So yeah, I was aware of that.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
got props and stories, he says, and I'm hoping he brings the dog, the little robotic dog prop, especially in
dude,
the blaster
Oh,
form.
Rick, awesome.
I hope he does. That'd be so epic.
That would be so exciting for me. That's
Oh my
what I'm
God.
looking forward to.
Wasn't he
Yeah.
the executive producer for everything from SPD to Jungle Fury?
Pretty much.
I think so, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So he's got two really good seasons. One pretty good, not great, but not bad. And then he's got a season we don't talk about, but that's 3 out of 4. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad run.
Yeah.
Yo, El Jefe is in the chat, I think. Is that Adam?
What-
Our Adam?
Yep.
What's going
There's a
on,
beautiful
Adam?
picture of himself right there.
Heck yeah. That is El Jefe himself. If you know, you know.
It's the first time he ever wears he ever puts his profile picture like that with himself on there.
Yeah, Mikey, the one we don't talk about is Operation Overdrive. And yes, shut up, Dax.
I have to say though, that one I struggled to watch because we were binging like when it first came to Netflix. Me and my roommate at the time just binge, and that's kind of what got me more into it to where I'm at now. Was just kind of binging all the old Disney eras, and that's when I became a fan of Disney era. And I still think it's the best. I know y'all can stone me for that if y'all want. But
No,
Operation Overdrive, that one I struggle with, but I think it has one of the better endings out there.
I
Like
mean,
by the
Disney's
end of it,
all right, but
the last few episodes, I was hyped for it.
but I would agree that the Disney era was in general probably the best, just because I mean everybody whines about how Disney didn't care much about Power Rangers, but ironically enough, I would say that that's what made it a great era, because the pretty much Disney's entire attitude was, here's the budget, stay within this, do whatever you want,
Do
we don't
whatever.
care. And people did what they want, and they gave us some solid seasons.
Some
Yeah.
solid stories, you know. Mystic Force, I really enjoyed. SPD was pretty great. I mean, Ninja Storm. I mean, all of them pretty much, except for the one we don't talk about.
we don't talk about it. We don't name it. We
I-
don't talk about the guy that nobody likes.
exactly. Yeah.
Even though somebody in our chat refuses to stop trying to talk about that guy because he is that guy.
And
It's
I
an
don't
ongoing
too mean
thing.
to him, Riz.
Yeah,
What?
we had to like give a crash course to El Jefe on our way to Dallas up there because he was like, What do you mean?" And so we had to give him a crash course on what he did and everything.
Oh yeah.
Ah, fun time.
Nathan hates that story so much.
Crash course, like what story? What are you talking about?
On He Who Shall
The
Not Be Named.
he who shall not be named who stole a banner.
Oh,
Yeah, we had to
right.
like fill him in and all of that.
Yeah, I know it's drama, but
So I hope I get this right. Jerusalem Garcia is saying, y'all are thinking of Bruce Kalis. He was executive producer for SPD, Mystic Force, Overdrive, and Jungle Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Kalish and the Greg, however you pronounce his last name, they were both working together.
Yeah. But Greg was the guy who did all the practical effects, set design, props, and all that. That was his doing. So yeah, no, he is definitely a goat for that, even though he did bring out those funny explosive moments, no pun intended, but yes, pun intended.
Well, I mean, part of that might have also been Disney, because Disney didn't like the violence level of the show, so they just thought, let's just show a lot of explosions and with a bunch of
Yeah.
laser effects, so we don't
With
have to show
lasers,
people
yeah.
punching
Yeah.
people as much.
Also, quick plug over here. If you haven't already checked out the Anime Secrets Discord, definitely come stop by and check us out. I will be making this announcement a couple more times throughout the night just to remind everyone. And here is a link in our chat if you don't already follow us. If you're not already there, what's wrong with you guys? Come on. Let's come keep us company. We love to have a good time.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, definitely come check us out on Discord. So, Mr. Muffin, which guest of these five are you the most hyped for?
Man, just take a guess.
Don't torture him
mean,
like that, man, because that might make him look bad for all of his other guests. Let's not do that to him.
No, that's fine. It's pretty much no secret. I mean, most of these were a lot of my picks, so it's pretty much the year of Muffin. But everybody knows pretty much because my favorite season of all is Go Onger. So Go On Red was the one I fought tooth and nail for, and it was a Christmas miracle when Hefe told me that that he was able to lock him in, and I was like, yes,
yeah.
Because last year was Monica May. That's who I was trying to get.
Yeah.
But scheduling conflicts kind of got in the way.
Yeah.
And then we were able to work out something for March, and then that kind of got the ball rolling, and he was able to come into March, so we got him. And then Titanium was one of my favorites as well, and just American Made. So I was like, bro, that's like one of the best things we ever came up with.
Yeah.
So we had to get him, and but yeah, because RPM is my favorite Power Ranger season, and then Go Wander is my favorite Sentai. Boon Boonger's is becoming a close second though. Like I've been enjoying what I've been seeing so far with that one. So
Are you done with it yet?
no, not yet, but I hear it's like really great towards the end.
Dude, that ending, it shattered my soul.
Oh,
Yeah.
There are parts of this where I was like, oh my god, what did I just watch? Did they really just do the thing I think they just did?
oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say anything because I want you to have the experience first, like I did. But I will tell you that. So it's no secret at this point that at episode 44, I think, that we had a cameo by the Goat Blue, Mr. Gokai Blue, and
Nice.
yeah. So the episode after, things hit the fan, and from that moment on, the episode drops. I've already consumed the episode before like most of the Toku fandom can even get their hands on it. Oh my goodness, it was so great.
Yeah. It's probably, I mean, and I've seen, I mean, I guess Kira Major does have some car themes to it, but like of the four, four seasons that are definitively car themed, Boom Boomger, and I've seen all of them, so Boom Boomger is easily the best. Like it's way better than Turbo Ranger. A lot of things are better than Turbo Ranger, but still, Car Ranger, it's better than Car Ranger. Car Ranger's really good. And like I said, I love Go Onger. So I mean, car themed Sentais are, I mean, at least when Car Ranger started, they really set a high bar for themselves, and I think Boom Boomger just flies way over that bar. That's already pretty
I
high.
would agree with that. I would agree with that.
No, Boom Boomzer was a really good season throughout. There's a couple of small complaints I have. If you want to hear my full opinion on that, we have the entire podcast review series on our channel on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely check it out. It was one heck of a ride, and I mean that basically sealed 2 years for me personally of just watching the full season as it comes out and loving every minute of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check
Because
that out
King
even more.
Ozer is fantastic. Boom Boomzer is
I
fantastic.
hear King Oger is really good. I haven't been able to watch too much of that one. I think I've only watched like the first 2 episodes.
So you know how a lot of Sentai. Oh, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
I had to get them when we were in Dallas, little candy toys.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Just missing purple. That's it.
Yeah.
Violet.
So you know how a lot of our Sentai and Power Rangers kind of keep things more episodic?
Yeah.
King Ozer is not that.
No.
Every
Oh.
episode is like interwoven, connected story. It's nonstop go go go. I think the entire season. Nate will correct me where I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was only like 2 episodes of filler, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds roughly right.
And I would even debate a person on if the 2 is even valid to call filler.
Really?
And the craziest part to me about the entire time of watching King Ozer is, you know that episode that nobody in the fandom likes where it's the recap of everything in the season up until then?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we all basically skip that because you don't want to rewatch the entire season in like a Calypso. That's not filler. It was even
so even that one is
connected.
wow.
It was part of the story.
Actually, it's not even just a good episode. It's probably one of the top 5 best episodes of the whole season.
Really?
Yeah.
Ironically enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, King Ozer to me is in my top 5 best Sentai of all time.
Yeah.
I know Hefe really likes that one a lot. That's kind of what got him back into Sentai after kind of like being burnt out after Gokaiger. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
curious.
I had a similar thing with my Sentai experience. I watched Gokaiger,
Right.
I watched Go Buster, Tokyuzer, and I think after that, when Ni Ninja aired, that's when I got my Sentai fatigue because Ni Ninja, to me, was horrendous. And
I kind of agree. That's where it was hitting for me. Well, actually, it was around Go Buster, and then I tried to get back into it with Ninja just because the suits look cool to me. So I was like, I like them a lot, and
Yeah.
Ninja theme. So let's get into it. But it just I don't know if it was because I was still burnt out on it or what, but I just wasn't vibing with it. And Boon Boocher is actually the most recent one that's just kind of gotten me excited with every episode I've been watching. That's
yeah,
been getting me back into it. So, and now I kind of want to go back and revisit some of the old ones because I was kind of jumping around on Tokuger. So I think I want to do a full run of that one still.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
I
now I
mean,
feel like they're in kind of a, I don't want to say straight up golden age, but they are in an age where they're trying new things and like trying to stray away from the typical formula. And we're gonna find out with how Go Juger ends if all those efforts are always gonna hit bullseyes. But even if they
Right.
don't, you got to give them credit for at least trying to get out of the formula. That's what
No,
makes this
exactly.
new. That's
yeah.
what makes this new era so exciting, honestly.
And I
No,
mean,
I agree
all,
with that. Yeah,
yeah,
even on the Common Rider front too, like Gav has been getting me pretty excited
dude.
after a while
I
too.
So I haven't seen a lot of Gov. I think I have to go check my computer later and see, but I'm pretty sure I've seen at least like 2 or 3 episodes of Gov in the beginning, and I was really liking it. And for those fans that have known me in the podcast for the last couple of years, you'll know I have really bad luck with Kamen Rider. Uh,
Unfortunately.
so Muffin, you're a Kamen Rider guy, right?
A little bit, yeah. I am more of a
Okay.
Sentai guy, but I do love me some Common Rider. I love Forze. A
So
little bit more of a
he,
controversial one for
Uh,
some people. Oh yeah, exactly.
no,
But
no,
I
no,
just
he
love the
no, no, no.
vibe of
I
it.
love
Yeah.
Forze. It's just if we try to review that on the show, my wife is probably going to kill me because the main actor from that show is a big actor now, and she cannot stand that actor. Like she gets
Oh
so
really?
angry every time she sees
oh
him.
my god.
So if she walks in on me watching an episode of that
Watching
show, she's
with
gonna
that big
kill
old
me.
pompadour, little big old poofy head.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, so I I had an experience with Kamen Rider. I My first Kamen Rider was Kamen Rider Ghost, which in the infancy of our podcast is what we reviewed for a while.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was like a bad Kamen Rider. It wasn't bad. It was just mid, you know?
There's definitely better ones you could have chosen, I would say.
Right.
But
And then
I love that design so much too.
and then I watched a little bit here and there. Didn't really keep up with like the name. I just watched an episode one and I was like, not my vibe. And then
Yeah.
we had this crazy idea that when we do the Sinkinser review series, because Kamen Rider Decade was connected to it,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
we do Kamen Rider Decade in tangent with it.
I see. Yeah.
And I know the fandom loves Decade. I could not get myself into it because I didn't have the background to understand all the other Kamen Riders. So the references are over my head, and then I hear these guys constantly ripping into the fact that, hey, these are the actors from Kamen Rider, but they're not playing their characters; they're playing other people instead. And I'm just like,
Well, no, it's not
uh,
even that. It's just a matter of you have people in the Kamen Rider suits, but you have a bunch of different actors playing these characters.
yeah,
Right.
Like it's not even a matter of, oh, here's Jason Font, but he's not playing Wes or Alex. He's playing like Ninja Storm Yellow or something.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
like here is some actor that we've never seen, we don't know, and we've never seen him before in Power Rangers, and he's wearing the red Time Force Ranger
And
suit.
he's West. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, okay, so they're kind of doing that with Go's User, and I apologize if you guys have not seen Go's User out there yet, but I I'm pretty sure if you're into fandom and you're anywhere remotely near Reddit or Facebook or Insta, you've at least seen that the actor who played Taya from Boon Boonzer, he was Boon Red.
Yeah.
The actor makes a cameo, but he's not making a cameo as Taya, but
Yes,
he's
Taya.
making a cameo as like some rando guy who can turn into King Odzer Red. And so
Which is confusing. And I think that's how a lot of it's kind of going, to be honest with you.
yeah, and that's my other concern with the season is I don't know how to feel about um it, like if it goes the decade route.
Right.
And yes, Aka Mikey Auriga, I'm sorry if your last name's not said correctly. I'll try and learn to pronounce this at some point. But that is a spoiler, but it's been a couple of weeks and the fandom community has been exploding with this image all over the place and talking about it, even if they haven't seen it. So yeah, it is a spoiler, but it's kind of like saying Snape killed Dumbledore at this point, in my
Wait, he did what
Yeah.
now?
Oh crap! You didn't know?
Hold on, I'm
Oh,
barely
no.
on book 3. I'm barely on Prisoner of Azkaban.
Guys, abort, abort, abort!
I gotta
We
catch up
found
on this
one.
now.
Dang it, Riz.
Okay, so I think we should start talking a little bit about that game that we were talking about offline.
Yep, let's do this.
So, for those that have been keeping track of the Morphinominal Expo guest list, we have 5 Rangers, right? And they're all different colors, mostly all from different seasons. You got 2 from Ninja Steel, which is kind of interesting in terms of like just keeping it all unique and having representation from different seasons. But you know what? The 2 that you pick from Ninja Steel are actually the 2 that I love. So
Yeah.
props to y'all for that. I
Appreciate
think
that.
I honestly, and this is a fun little side story before we get to the thing, but Peter Sodarso is a friend of our podcast. We met
Yep.
him at Ranger Stop and Pop last year, and I just went to his table to get an autograph. Being a typical fan, I had no plans to do anything more than that. But he had seen that I was wearing the media pass that Ranger Stop and Pop gives, and he asked me, "So you're part of media? So are you a podcaster? YouTube? What are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a podcaster." And he's like, "Oh, really? What podcast?" And I was like, "Well, I'm part of Toku Secrets." He said, "No way! I listen to that sometimes." I was like,
Oh, nice.
"Oh crap!" I literally pulled my phone out while talking to Peter, nonchalant, texted Nathan, "Get over here now!"
And then Nathan zooming through, just turn into the berry right there
Dude,
to the Flash.
That's exactly what I did.
he did. He zoomed over. We talked to Peter, and you know, it was a thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
That's
totally
pretty
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know, we kind of bonded. I told him at some point we'll get him on the show. Haven't gotten around to trying to do that yet, but I do want to try and do that. In fact, if you guys want to do like a follow on before your show and get Peter on, I'd love to do it. But just that's schedules are hard. I get that.
Right. We can run that by him, see what's going well.
Yeah.
We can do there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you got any other guests that want to hop on, have some fun with us, I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what we can make happen. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have 5 Rangers coming, all different colors, mostly from different seasons. To me, this screams a better iteration of Once a Ranger, right? Where you got people getting together, representing different parts of the fandom or franchise in this case. And so I'm kind of curious to hear from you guys. How would this group be together as a Sentai / Power Rangers team? What do you think of the dynamics that these guys would bring to the table? How do you think this would work?
I would say, I think in the team dynamic, Z, SPD Yellow, and Go on Red will probably be the ones that would get along the most, just because of how mischievous they both can be. I think they would both kick it off pretty well. Then of course you got Ninja Steel Pink and Blue who are already working together, so they'll kind of tag along too. Titanium will probably be more by the books, I would say. More he'd probably be butting heads with Go on Red a little bit, as a de facto leader,
Yeah.
And how would they all work together, right? I think they would probably kind of like have different ways of tackling a certain like obstacle that might kind of like hinder them a little bit, but I think they'll pull it off at the end, like kind of realize like we need to work together. But I think there's gonna be a good chunk of butting heads between them all at the start.
So I think my comments would be the two from Ninja Steel would have that synergy because they've already worked together in the past. So that would be great for them. But the other good part of it is Ninja Steel Pink is this team's genius, right? Like she invents all this crazy stuff, things well beyond the capability of any high schooler. But you know what? There's a precedent for that in the Power Rangers universe, Billy Cranston. So it's possible. It could be done. So I think C would be a huge asset to the team. I think C would bring her A game to build whatever they need or to help build a tech.
She'd be the one coming up with the plans for sure.
Yeah. I think, I think Z and Sosuke would definitely get along, but I also think there'd be some really fun dynamics with Sosuke and Preston. Because Preston is a budding magician. I could see him just kind of trying to do some tricks, and Sosuke, being that lovable goof that he is, just kind of gets in the way and either ruins the illusion or plays along with it.
Right. Either plays the longer, breaks it down, be like, hey, what do you mean? Or like, what's the string here for? And then they'd be like, oh,
Right.
bro, come on.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a really fun dynamic. I think you're spot on about that leadership struggle between Titanium and Go on Red. I think that could be a very interesting dynamic, mainly because we in the fandom give a lot of weight to the Sixth Ranger, right?
Right.
And Ryan as the Sixth Ranger, to me, is a little bit more by the book. He's a bit more serious. He has a more tragic backstory compared to other Sixth Rangers.
Yep.
Right.
So
right.
I could see him kind of being pulled into the de facto leader role.
Right. I feel like he would be, he would inch more towards the de facto leader above all the rest, for sure.
Yeah. Also, hang on, I gotta address a comment from Mr. Aka Eagle here, because he is saying, and yet Ninja Steel Pink, the team's brains, couldn't even pass a math test. However, that does not prove brains. I know many people who are not the best with math, but are phenomenal engineers nonetheless. And C is a phenomenal engineer. So I will continue to say that C is a team. C is the brain of the team. C might not be as great at math as she could be, but doggone it, her inventions are pretty badass.
True that. Math is hard.
Math is hard, man. And that's coming from somebody who is an engineer. I mean, hey, Nate, you're an engineer too. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally behind that. I mean, I don't think I ever failed a math test, but I'm certainly not like a whiz at math. So, yeah.
No, math is my kryptonite. There's no way.
So now we know the weakness to the LoveMuffin is to give him an algebra test.
No, definitely. That'll take me out for sure. I can't find the square root or the x to anything, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can you find X?
And not at all. Even if
She's
it marks the spot.
She's out there complaining about you, man. And there's my dad sucker today, Nate, and you didn't even groan. I'm so proud of myself.
Totally.
That's funny.
Yeah. So with that said, now that we have this mini Expo dream team, how would you kind of rank them against the greats and against some of the worst?
What would be considered one of the greats?
So by the Toku Secret standards, at the top of the list is In Space.
Oh.
Time Force would be another top tier team. I can see the argument for RPM being up there in that list. Though I do have my own complaints on some of the cast, but we'll get to that when we get to our RPM review later on.
Yep.
Going by fandom on that last one, by the way, not my personal take, but Nate, what do you think? I think Dino Thunder SPD would be pretty solid.
Yeah, SPD for sure.
Yeah.
Dino Thunder. Yeah. I mean, Dino Thunder has top 5 reds and blues, and they have one of the well, maybe not number 1, but at least number 2, yellow. So, yeah.
Yeah, yellow is a hard one for me because of Lily as well from Jungle Fury.
Yeah.
Which Jungle Fury is another top tier for me. So there. So
Actually, I mean, when the worst ranger in that team is still a pretty solid ranger, that being Dominic, and I'm not trying to try. I don't. That makes it sound like I'm trashing on him, but I'm not. I really do like Dominic. He's just kind of the weak link of that team. But the fact that a ranger as good as Dominic is the weak link of that team is a statement on how great it is.
Yeah. I mean, no, I can't say because Muffin hasn't seen the rest of that season yet, so we'll hold off.
Oh, that's a toughie. Rancic, I feel like would give them a good run for their money. And let's see, how would I go? That's crazy. Definitely the ones that would be holding their own would definitely be Titanium. And I would say possibly Z would probably be the top 2 ones that would be kind of give him a good run. I think the other 3 he could kind of like swipe out pretty easily.
I think we're undercutting Sosuke's capabilities here a little bit, though.
He's a hothead, but I think that's what's gonna do him in on that one, on that fight particularly.
Against Rancic, yes.
Yes, he likes to just jump in there, and with Rancic, you kind of have to be a little bit more cunning, I would say.
I mean, Rancic might actually make an example of Alex out of him if he were to get too hot-headed.
Well, yeah. Riz, does Sosuke get to use that hyper Shinkenger disc to become hyper go on red when fighting Rancic?
Dude, that thing is badass.
Okay, because if he can do that, then he might be able to stand a chance against Rancic.
That thing is badass. I don't even care.
Like Z has SWAT mode, so Z would probably be able to hold her own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Coming soon, the Toku Secrets, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the movie reviews coming up the pipe later on. For Go Onzer.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so Rancic I think would definitely give him a run for their money. I think the saving thing that would help beat Rancic would probably be Ryan and Z.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. And this is not knocking on Preston, and I think her name is Sarah, right? It's been a while.
Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah, and nothing against them. I just think that Rancic would have no F's to give,
Oh, exactly. Oh, no, for sure. Like, that's not to, dog on them or dock any points from them that they're not good enough. It's just with Rancic, like you said, he just gives no F's at all, and he would just go to town on them without a second thought,
Yeah. I mean, on the other side of the equation, I think were they up against somebody like, Diva Talks. And I know people, when I say Diva Talks, are going to immediately jump to my throat saying, oh my God, Riz, why are you even mentioning Diva Talks in this conversation? She's not that great. I'm like, no, listen. Diva Talks defeated the Rangers.
Yeah.
She blew up the command center. She
A
won.
lot of people forget that she actually won.
The Megazords were destroyed. The Rangers lost their powers. They lost their mentor. Well, the mentor wasn't really a mentor, but
No. I'm actually watching Turbo right now. I'm about to get to the point where in the Phantom Ranger saga where Divatox steals the Megazord. So I'm coming up pretty close to that moment where Divatox is victorious.
but see,
And runs
Mikey.
him out of Earth. She runs him out of Earth. Running
But see,
scared.
Divatox whines, but she defeated them.
What did I say about the Turbo Crew, huh? No.
Well, I don't think it said anything bad about the Turbo Crew, because I think the team was just dealt a bad hand coming in the middle of the season.
I think she was a good leader, all in all. Like, she commanded her people pretty well to, like, swarm them and just take over everything to, like, get
Even
what
if
she needed in the end. Like,
even though her motivations don't make much sense, because like some of the last couple of episodes I've been watching, she sends Piranhatrons to like rob banks or steal jewelry, and it's
Yeah.
like, you're not from Earth. What is that
What
money
is
gonna
she?
do for
Yeah.
you? Like, at least when Nadira in Time Force is stealing money, it's like, okay, you're a mutant, but you're from Earth, so I can
From Earth, and
understand
yeah.
what you would do with that money. But Divatox, you're not from Earth. What are you gonna do with all that money? Like,
There was no rhyme or reason for that. She's just like, oh, shiny, I'm taking it.
yeah.
I don't even know if she understands the concept of money, really.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, in the end, Rancic, Ecliptor, all of them would probably be giving them a run for their money. And that's going to be up to their sixth secret guest that no one saw coming, Greg Aranowitz, with Rick in blaster mode. And then he's just going to go, and Greg's going to be like, show run this. And then he's just going to go blast
Yeah.
them. And after
Take
this,
him down
You
with
know-
the K9 cannon.
You know
K9
what?
cannon.
You know
to
what? I
oblivion.
never considered when I kind of thought of this idea for this game, that we did have a sixth ranger in the form of Greg with the Rick cannon.
With the Rick cannon.
Dude, that's an OP move right there.
Exactly. That's how it all.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be them right there, helmet shattered, crawling down. You know how they do at the end when they're
Yeah.
getting defeated, grabbing the gravel, going, "Ooh, we can't stop them." And that's when Greg steps in. You just see the feet popping by their helmets, and he's just right there. He Rick cannon in hand, and just blasts
Goes
Rancic.
all Rambo on them.
Yep, that's it. That's how everybody knows. Greg saves the day right there.
Greg saves the day. No two ways about it. But yeah, I think another one I'd be kind of interested in seeing, mainly because I want to see Sosuke in this situation, is Mezagog.
Oh, those two would be going at it for sure. That one would be a good fight to see, especially, just the claws going, and then Sasuke with the wheels, how they make him turn to like burn right there, blocking the claws with that. That'd be crazy to see.
It'd be fun. I would enjoy that quite a bit.
That would be a fun match, definitely.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, Mezagog would be a good point, but there's few Power Ranger villains that I couldn't see Sosuke defeating, and not because Sosuke is overpowered, but just because he's like he is just so relentless, and he'll just keep coming at you until you die. It's like It's like the Black Knight scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You can cut off his arms, you can cut off his legs. He'll still keep fighting.
It's a flesh wound.
What'd you say, Riz?
It's a flesh wound.
Oh yeah, right.
Look, the Muffin and I get it, man. We know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
just
yeah. That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to rewatch that one. It's been a minute, man, but I remember just enjoyed it a lot.
I haven't seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail for probably at least 10 years. Not since college.
Yeah, I gotta watch that again soon.
Yeah, mine's been a good minute too. Probably, around 10 years or so.
Yeah. Life of Brian was pretty fun too.
Yeah. You see, well, yeah, it's been a good minute for me.
Yeah.
Did we think? How did they think they would fare against some of the more badass villainesses? Like we talk about Diva Talks, but the genuinely good female villains. I'm talking like Trakina and Astronema.
I was just thinking astronomer. Oh man, Trakina they could probably handle. Astronomer would give them a good run for their money, I would say.
I think Astronema might eat their lunch if she is. If we're talking Astronema prior to the Andros sibling storyline really
Yeah,
taking
right.
effect.
Yeah,
Because once Zane and her start to kind of become, you know.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say she does have a thing for Silver Ranger, so maybe Titanium Ranger could like work his charm or something there.
Dude, you know, and
maybe he could
honestly,
diffuse that quickly, you know?
okay, this might sound kind of bad, but Ryan and Zane do have some similarities in how they look.
Right? Exactly. No, she could get like probably confused or like be like, Zane, is that you or something? You know? Maybe they could use it to their advantage. Then once he dons the silver suit.
No. All you got to do is be like, Ryan walks up, Astronomer's like, Zane who?
Pretty much.
Because
Yeah.
she sees that silver, she run into it. But what's he gonna do with that titanium, though?
Right, exactly.
What's he gonna do with that titanium?
But yeah, unless Trakina takes on her green bug form,
I
like
do
if she
forget
just,
about that actually.
yeah, unless she takes on her
can't.
green bug form, or probably worst case scenario, she turns into that monster form she did in the Lightspeed Rescue Lost Galaxy team up episode. Like,
Uh-huh.
but if we're talking about just normal Trakina, I think they would defeat her because Trakina is a great villain, but she
Not
until
much of
she
a
took
fighter, I don't think really.
yeah until she took on the green form, there was no denying that she was weaker than her father was.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
was not that impressive to me until the green form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great character. Well, great character.
No, for
And
sure.
and even then, I mean, she's helped a lot by what's his name,
Villamax.
Villamax.
Vilamax.
I always get the two mixed up, and I don't know why.
Yeah, well, Villamax could probably put up a good fight against these five people. He's another really
Yeah.
great
I would
villain.
agree.
But
I would agree.
yeah.
Yeah, Eclipser would be fun too. I think Eclipser would lose a lot easier than Villamax, but it'd still be a lot of fun
It'd
to
be a
watch.
fun little fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta let them have some fun when they're winning. You know, you can't just be all doom and gloom.
That's true. That's true.
Now,
Yeah.
on the other side of the equation, we've been talking a lot about the goats. What are some of our weaker villains, and who would be like a ragdoll for these guys?
Squad and Babu for sure. And that would
Okay, that's too
not
that's
even
too
2
low hanging
seconds.
fruit. That's
At
too
the
much of a
same
low hanging
time.
fruit.
Flurious from Operation Overdrive, aka Mister. I'm just gonna sit on my frozen ass, and while the other villains do everything, but I'm also going to complain when nothing goes my way.
Yeah.
That's
So,
about right, yeah.
hey Nate, your buddy Anka Eagle has said that in the chat earlier. Flurious.
Yeah.
You know, I think who was that? Who was the one in Megaforce? The second one that was kind of like the whiny brat.
Oh,
The
the one with
car,
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Prince Warzu Gill's
Prince some,
counterpart.
Yeah. I don't remember his. Was it Zakar?
It was the car.
Dakar. Okay. Yeah, he's so memorable to me, obviously. No, but he was such a whiny brat. Like you guys say, Diva Talks was a whiny brat,
No, yeah, him for
but
sure.
he had the anime tears going at one point.
That's right.
So I mean, look, he ain't nothing. He ain't nobody.
Yeah.
No, him for sure. They wouldn't even give a second glance to him, and he would just be furious about that and just whine about it. And they would just leave him there and be like, "It's not even worth our time. Let's go."
Not at all. No.
I mean, most of the Overdrive villains, with the exception of the Fear Cats, were pretty intimidating and pretty cunning, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, Malcor. No, Moltor. Malcor was the bug guy from Megaforce. Yeah, I mean, Moltor definitely wouldn't be good. I mean, the guy whines about how Flurious broke his sled. Like, really? That's the reason why you hate him? The great writing there. And
Dude, that reminds me of our stupid rants in our previous lives, Nathan, when we went on and on and on about how much we hated Overdrive.
yeah. And then
Oh my god.
Camdor and Miratrix just they're not that strong either.
No.
Agreed.
No, but I mean,
Ooh.
Overdrive villains in general would just straight up lose.
Yeah, all of them.
I mean, literally, you could have freaking Sosuke walk up to any of the Overdrive villains without Henson and just flip him with one finger,
Yup.
and they're done.
Make quick work and then do his signature just.
And just
And,
exactly.
and honestly, like, I would say that not that I want to trash them because I mean, well, at least Tanaya is a good character, but I would probably feel tempted to say that they could defeat the RPM villains because I mean, Venjix, when you really think about it, is not the most intimidating villain because, like, I mean, keep in mind, RPM takes place in another universe, so there's no other Rangers that could have reasonably stood up to him. So we don't really know how he would be against an army of Rangers. And unlike his Sentai counterpart, Yogoshima Kritian, who has the ability to Thanos people, like Venjix can't actually do that. His Thanos scene is, um, is restricted solely to the RPM Rangers because he like hacked into the morphing grid. But he
Right.
like the Go-Onger villain could Thanos anyone, but Venjix has very severe limitations on how he's able to Thanos people. So yeah, I don't know, like the Venjix, I know that I know he destroyed an entire world, Akka, but was it really that big of a challenge when there weren't that many Power Rangers to like challenge him or something? So
I mean,
Very
and
true.
also consider the RPM team did not have Sarah. And hear me out. We talk about how Sarah is a genius at a group, right? Super smart. Math test aside. But all she has to do is get some cover from the rest of her team to sneak into the base and unplug Venjix.
yeah.
Just throw in a McAfee antivirus software in there and they're good to go.
Son, we are a Norton household around here.
Oh, a Norton even.
No, I
Good
don't
choice.
recommend Norton or McAfee. I would go with Bitdefender. That is my
Yeah,
one
yeah.
non-paid promotional
Yeah.
tech advice I will give for free to my loving audience because I do want you guys to have safe computers.
That's a good word to
Bitdefender
go with.
Bitdefender is better than these staples that everyone talks about. So that's me on a soapbox because I deal with cybersecurity day in, day out, and
Right.
I just had to throw my 2 cents on that real quick.
There you go. If you want to prevent Venjix, now you know how.
Yeah, there. Bitdefender. That's all you need. It's in the name. Defender. Defender. It's in the name.
Yeah.
How do you guys think they would fare, that team, against the Psycho Rangers themselves?
Oh.
Like one-on-one fights with just the whole team going at it right then and there.
Oh, we talking one-on-one fights.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting from the bottom, are we gonna map Ryan to black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Would have to, right?
I think
think,
Ryan
yeah.
would kind of kick ass.
yeah, because I mean, Ryan technically matched because we've seen how the Psycho Rangers work when they're matched up against Rangers who are not their matching colors. So Psycho Red. I mean, if we were talking about a Green Ranger here, then there might be a bit of a matchup because we saw in the team up episode in Lost Galaxy that green and black energies are similar. So, but yeah, I mean, Ryan would probably defeat Psycho Black and probably
Demolish Black.
defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, if I'm being honest with you, um, we would probably have some trouble with Blue.
Whoa, really?
I don't know if Preston could hold its own necessarily.
You think he could do some kind of like illusion or something? His magic,
He
kind of like.
he probably would, but what do you think he could hold his own?
With how insane Psycho Blue is, because Psycho Blue is the most
I would
insane
say
animal
against
file.
Psycho Blue,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think if Preston tried to like pull some, like Preston could win, but he would have to rely a bit more on wit and his magic to get the job done. I don't think in a direct fight he would be able to beat Psycho Blue.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand-to-hand combat, yeah, I don't think he'd be able to last too long without trying to outwit him.
And that's my point.
Outsmart him. Yeah.
He's smart, but he's not as finesse, you know?
Yeah.
Not as combat ready.
Yeah. So hey, while we're talking, Muffin, we are bringing on one of your community members to kind of hang out and give us her perspective on Morphinominal Expo Mini. Miss Lulu Bug will be joining pretty soon. Just FYI.
Sweet. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So just getting another perspective out there to talk about the greatness that is your con while we have our fun here.
Cool.
If we're talking yellow, I think Z would kick ass and take names.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it would be interesting because like Psycho Yellow's a bit more of the like. I would say that she was probably the more like cleverer of the Psycho Rangers because she came up with more elaborate schemes compared to the others. So Z and Psycho Yellow would be an interesting matchup, but I do think Z is a bit more crafty enough to ultimately win that.
Craftier?
Yeah, craftier. Sorry about that.
And I don't know. So Psycho Pink actually killed somebody. I don't know if Sarah would be able to handle Psycho Pink. I think she'd be great.
But Psycho Pink needed that powerful sword in order to do that. Did we give her that super sword? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if we do.
I mean, Psycho Pink is also difficult to gauge because, like, she was around the least of the Psycho Rangers, so you don't know as much about her as a character. Because even though she stayed around for like one episode of Lost Galaxy, it didn't do much to flesh her out as a character. Yeah. So, I think just based on what we know about Psycho Pink, I would probably say that I don't know. That would be an interesting matchup. I don't know if I can figure that one out yet.
Yeah. Well, while you think about it, let's bring up our special guest for tonight.
Totally.
Hi!
Hello,
Jerusalem.
Hi!
Oh, you were the one earlier. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't put them together because I didn't know your real name or. I've only ever seen you in the Discord as Lulubug, so I was like, oh,
yeah, that's usually how on most Discords I just go just because I'm like, well, it's easier than trying to remember my actual name because it's just some people are like, how do you pronounce it? I'm like, which way? You want the English or the Spanish pronunciation?
And I apologize if I butchered your name.
No, you got it. It's because it's Jerusalem, which is Spanish for Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. So it's like people, they're like, do you prefer one? I'm like, whichever one rolls off your tongue. Like at this point, I have to learn how to like, roll with it. I mean, it's I've got more things to care about than my name. As long as you're attempting it, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, welcome to Toku Secrets podcast live stream. Just wanted to get some more the fans of Morphinominal Expo on here to share in this community event that we're trying to build up for them. I'm going to try and do this a bit more often with the guys just to help promote them throughout the year. So, yeah, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, while I don't know if you've been listening to the last little bit, but we've been talking about the 5 amazing guests that are coming this year to San Antonio and how if they were a team together, how would they fare against different villains? And we're currently debating the Psycho Rangers versus these guys.
Yeah, that one I kind of tuned out because, like I told you earlier, I was eating, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Psycho Rangers. It's like they're up there with in terms of like difficulty, I guess, depending on on which Rangers you guys are saying, depending which Psycho it is. But together as a team, they were a bit of a challenge from what I remember. So I think it really honestly just depending, like, can you use Z's cloning ability, Sarah's smarts, as well as, just kind of collectively could they use all of their Preston's maybe ability, like, affinity for magic and all of that. Can like you use that to like to get a plan together collectively? I that's kind of what I'm here would be more curious about. Like, could they collectively do it despite all these different personalities and whatnot?
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think the skills would help because we didn't have any Rangers with like cloning or magical spells or anything in the Zordon era. So
Yeah.
that could be the advantage you need is the civilian powers.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, that's a good
Actually,
point.
I think that's gonna be what gives them the edge for sure at the end. I think they're
Yeah.
gonna have to rely heavily on it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, while we have you here, Miss Jerusalem, uh, I assume you've been going to Morphinominal Expo for a while, given that's what I've seen in your Discord that you've been
Hmm.
around for a bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with this convention and your thoughts on these people, especially
Well,
that stud of a man, Mr. LoveMuffin.
so I mean, I guess kind of. Well, I'm not far from San Antonio. I live an hour and a half away in the state capital here in Austin. Um,
Okay.
and then I guess more phenomenal. I met Muff and Adam, and then I was looking back at some of my old photos. It's about to be 10 years in May. So
Dang.
yeah, I thought it was 2016. No, it's 2015. So it'll be about 10 years since I've known these guys. And then I went down to for a con in 2016, actually, to San Antonio to meet Yoshi and Steve Cardenas down there. And then they were kind of already hinting at it that year. When they told me, I was like, they said they were thinking about it, and then they announced it for 2017. So I've been going to them, volunteering. I know, like, I mean, there's different memories that I've got for like almost every convention, like every convention. So I haven't obviously, like, I don't keep in touch with them that often, but when I do, like, it's always they're like this year they were trying to hype me just when I think they've surprised me, they keep surprising me but I mean, I've been dropping hints. So there's one ranger that, I mean, as much as I love all the rangers, there's one in particular I keep wanting to meet. I'm still waiting for him. I don't know who it is.
And who is it?
Kimberly Crossman. So she played Lauren in Samurai. She's like over the years, for some reason, it's just out of all the rangers at this point, Samurai, for a whole bunch of reasons, despite the bad writing, and the almost carbon copy of it being a carbon copy of Shinkenger, it's grown on me a lot. And I've definitely appreciated it, and it brought me back to the fandom. I was a teenager when it aired, so but something about Lauren, and just like, I think maybe because I am an older sibling, part of that also kind of played, I'm sure, played some role in Lauren becoming one of my favorite Reds. And I mean, definitely appreciation for having a female red, other than, she was the first female red we had since Charlie. So it was kind of, I think this is a combination of factors that just kind of, I'm like, I need to meet her, and I want to meet her. But that's who I've been asking for years. It's not gonna happen. I don't know if it could happen next year. Who knows? I'm waiting for them to surprise me. But I know I'm excited for this year's lineups, because the guests, obviously everyone, I have like a story or something, to share with them, and that's usually what I do at the con, like especially if it's a specific season. Um, I do, like, because I know a lot of fans share their own stories. I like to share my own experiences. And what I like to do is bring them a little like fan art that I work on prior to the convention, and I usually like post that on my Instagram, or like a sneak preview of it. Um, and so it's like, some of like the Rangers themselves have even surprised me by doing, either whether it's a photo or something. I think probably one of my favorite reactions to the fan art though has been Campbell Cooley. So for the fans who don't know, he's a voice actor from the show who voiced a whole bunch of a bunch of villains during the Neo Saban era, and a few other in during the Disney era, including Alpha in the Once a Ranger special. And then, like, I've met him 3 different times in San Antonio, and he's remembered me each time. That just kind of goes to show you, it's a smaller con, but you still have a big turnout. Like, literally, that line's pretty consistent, pretty much both days. And it like never seems to stop.
That's awesome.
I kind of,
Yeah,
I kind of
right.
help depending where they need me. And there's been time, a lot of the time I'm helping kind of near the area where the Rangers and the guests are, and that line does not stop.
Wow.
It's crazy to think that there isn't, that Texas is like, I know they say everything's bigger in Texas, but like, I know back up before Morphinominal, we only really had PMC and then Rangers Stop. And now we've got, I like it because I was like, I can't afford to travel to either one, because I mean they're both on opposite ends of the country. I'm on a limited budget, and so San Antonio's more closer to me, and it, I can stay nearby. Doesn't break my bank too much, and at this point, I kind of know how much to, like, how much the budget in the months and weeks leading to the convention. And I know it just, like, there's a lot, like, I mean, there's so much to say. I don't know what else to say unless somebody has a specific question, because I mean, I could go on about different moments that I've had.
Yeah, definitely. And that's so I'm from Houston. That's where I live right now, in the Houston area. And for the last 2 years, I've been flying out to Ranger Stop and Pop because Nathan lives in Atlanta. So we make it like a yearly thing, or we were trying to make Atlanta our yearly thing to have a con to go hang out at. And then Ranger Stop and Pop decided to say, you know what? We done.
Yeah.
So
Like, well,
Yeah.
I told Nathan, you know what? I came to your home state, I came to your hometown, and we did a con there for a couple of years. But you know what? It's time to move it back to Texas.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier in the stream, we are going to make the Morphinominal Expo our new home convention for our podcast team. Going to try and make it out there much more often. I've never been. I want to go. I'm really sad I can't be there this month. Just really bad timing for me personally.
right.
But I do have a lot of love for what I've seen out of this con so far, and hearing your story really helps solidify that more. But I do want to ask, given you have been there from day one, basically, and you've known these guys even before the con began, if you could pick one memory, one interaction, could be with a guest, it could be with the muffin, it could be just you and some friends hanging out, what experience would you say is your quintessential, that is Morphinominal Expo in one story?
Ooh, okay. That's a hard one to pick, because honestly, there's so many. I guess I think I would say, like, overall, like, one of like my favorite moments, and I've had it happen a few times, where I've been able to have a conversation, kind of, even if it's for a few minutes with the actors. I know at certain conventions you don't get that luxury. So I've been able to have kind of, I would say, conversations with some of the guests, whether that's about their character or their season or some behind the scenes, like they'll share, they're able to share kind of a new insight into the production of their season or something. It's kind of those moments. And then I like going back to the where sharing the fan art, like I've had a few of them like go so far as to like they'll have like, are you, like, do you want me to send this? I'm like, nope, this is for you. And then they're you're like, you can see that genuine surprise that they're like, hey, they're getting this from a fan. Probably even added bonus when cosplaying their character. I've had that happen a few times. So just kind of those kind of moments have really meant a lot. Because I've had it happen. I mean, I could do a whole thing on Megaforce and cosplaying Emma and Gia. And then there was Kendall. So just having those kinds of moments really means a lot, because depending on when you've come into the fandom, you've heard different things about certain actors over the years. And there's even now I still hear things about certain rangers. And there's some that I haven't met that I at first I wanted to meet and haven't had the chance to. And overall for me, my interactions with every actor that's been to the convention has been nothing but positive. Again, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, at least fortunately, there's been some kind of interaction that I've gone away happy, never disappointed with, with meeting them, for sure.
Definitely. And I mean, I think you and I kind of share that experience. I know I've never been to Morphinominal, but I've been in conventions of all kinds for, I don't know if I want to admit it, but over 20 years now. God, I'm old. What's happened to my life?
Good mileage in there.
Dude,
That's experience.
My first convention was A-Kon in Dallas. I think it was A-Kon 14, which I think was 2003.
Oh, sorry, I just barely saw Jan's comment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to elaborate on this 2018 stays in 2018 comment.
It's a specific memory that I don't know if I mean I was there as to what he's referring to, but the guys are already making a fun of him as it is for that specific incident. It was just Jan. I'm just gonna say Jan partied too hard that year. That's all I'm gonna say.
Something. We're gonna pull the Vegas rule out here, Jerusalem. We're gonna just say what happened in 2018 will stay in 2018.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
We're gonna respect my man Jan Hernandez. We're not gonna make him.
No, because
he's ruin his night.
He's like unofficially part of the crew. Like for me, I'm just more of like volunteer, kind of like know the guys and volunteer. Whereas like Jan's doing artwork for them, like doing stuff. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to make Jan mad, because I'm like, I make him mad. I don't
also
want
became the unofficial mascot. Became the unofficial mascot for the after party.
None of that upset artist.
No, you don't want him to draw you bad.
Right,
well, no, exactly. He's not gonna draw me bad, but I mean, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It was just 2018 was a whole thing.
Jan had too much fun.
Jan had.
That's all it's gonna come down to, and that's all you're gonna get out of me.
I mean, hey, that's fine. I'm assuming Nathan had a computer, so he'll be back. But in the interim, I think you and I have the same type of thing that we love about cons, and that is the experience meeting certain celebrity actors, rangers. I've had several interactions with different Power Rangers over the years, and they've been some really memorable things for me. For example, I just re-met Catherine Sutherland for the, I don't know, 5th, 6th time at this point. I've lost track, honestly. And at this point, she saw me at NostalgiaCon in Houston this past December.
Nice.
She looked up. She's like, I know you. She gave me that look of, I know who you are. And we just started talking, and she was asking me what my plans are for cons in the next couple of months. And I said, well, I don't know if I'll be going to any cons until next Ranger Stop at this point, just given personal stuff like getting married, starting up a new job. I had a lot of stuff going on my plate that I didn't want to commit to saying, yeah, I'll be at whatever con next month, you know?
Right.
So I just didn't want to do that. And she was so excited. Like, she went, like, when we were talking with Bulk and Skull, and I was, you know, explaining to them, like, you know, how much I'd love to interview them one day and everything. She was like a proud mom telling them, hey, did you know he's getting married?
I mean, when I met her, she was really sweet.
She is such a sweet
really
person. And honestly, like, that's only one story like that. And I'll give one more. I'm not going to go into stories on all of them because that would be here
Forever.
well past
Which actress
Nathan's.
was that? I'm sorry, my phone died. That's why.
Catherine Sutherland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At a NostalgiaCon this past year in Houston.
That's cool.
Yeah. The other one is Erin Cahill. I've met her at least twice.
I have a story about Erin Cahill, but I'll let you finish.
Hell yeah. Okay, we're gonna have some Erin Cahill love right now. So Erin Cahill came to New Orleans Comic Con back when I still lived in Louisiana. And I was hyped because you had Copon, you had Font, you had Erin all at the con. So I was like, okay, that's half a time force. Done. I'll have that experience down. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Get there. And this is a huge con. This is like a Wizard World con, if you're familiar with the Wizard World brand from back in the day. So I figured, okay, they're going to have a long line and whatever. But no, the line was more for, like, I think it was Jason Momoa or something was there that year. Oh. So those are like the big heavy hitter celebrity pulls that they had. So unfortunately, with the exception of Rose McIver, who is RPM Yellow, the other three Rangers did not really have much of a line. They were just kind of left to chill. So I spent a lot of time talking with Jason and Erin. Got a lot of good time with them. And Erin was such a genuinely amazing person. My friend who was going to go with me, he hurt his leg. I don't know if he sprained it or if he broke it. I can't remember. But he did something to where he couldn't be there. And he sent me money to get an autograph from her for him. So I said, hey, Erin, I know we've been talking for a while, but my friend just texted me some money, wants me to get your autograph because he can't be here. And the just genuine look of concern she had for my friend, who she's never seen, never met, was so apparent in that moment. She was so sad that this human that she's never met was in pain and couldn't be there, and he wanted to meet her. So she gave me the autograph, and she gave me the biggest hug and said, you are an amazing friend for doing all that. And then I saw her again a couple of years later at Ranger Stop, the first time I went, and she remembered me from that. And I just wanted her to say, hey, look, I'm not here to get stuff in line. I'm just here to say hi real quick because I know you're busy. I'm not going to take any time. And she's like, hold up, runs across the table, gives me another hug and says, thanks for coming to see me again. And just amazingly genuine person, just amazing human being. And I'm super hyped to see her at Ranger Stop and Pop this year. I know we're supporting the Morphinominal Expo, but I'm excited
Erin
for her.
Cahill's moment.
Erin Cahill moment. But also go to Morphinominal Expo, dang it.
Yeah, no, because we're still on the Erin Cahill train. Because I met her in 2019 with PMC Express, so, in Pasadena, which is just on the outskirts of Houston. And I had already hinted on my Instagram that I was gonna see if I could try to like. I started putting together a Jen cosplay, so like not like the Time Force Ranger suit, like Jen's civilian cosplay, which I know for Rangers, we don't really get a lot of those cosplayers. Because as far as I know, I've been one of the, I think maybe one of like 2 or 3 who've cosplayed like Emma and Gia, for example. So I put, and I remember this distinctly because I had tagged her in my Instagram, which I might have to pull up. But she was like, she was basically, I feel like, if I remember correctly, she just really liked my Jane cosplay at the time. Because again, it's not something you see very often, and it's not common. And it was her and Font, and so I was like, was wanting to get a picture of them, one of with each of them. But I ended up doing. Erica, why am my brain facing out? It's, I mean, it's only what 10 o'clock. I shouldn't be this. Aaron ended up talking to Jason Vaughn over something, and basically I got to do my photo together with both of them. So we got to take kind of the one that I ended up liking, but then we took a few of them somewhere a little silly. She ended up, because you know how she has her morpher, right? The morpher that she had on the show. She let me wear it for the photo.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. That's an epic moment. And
I'm like, I mean, I've had I've had a lot of awesome moments like that, but I'm like, that's still one of my, like, it's up there in like top 10, because I was like, how often do you get that? They let you wear their like screen
the actual one, yeah.
It's like, I'm just like, so it was just amazing, and she was really sweet. And then Font was really chill. But yeah, I got to take my photo with both of them.
Font is such an amazing guy to talk to.
I'm trying to remember. I think I've met him twice, because I'd met him prior, like I think 1 or 2, like 2 years before that, when he had come down to Austin at a local con, or not a local con, comic book shop, along with Allison McKinnon, so Lightspeed Rescue Pink.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, that's a whole other story. Oh, that reminds me of my first Comic Con before my first anime con included 2 samurai and Allison McKinnon. And I was just, I was 19. So this was 10 years ago, 19. And I was still fairly young. And samurai, like I said, samurai came out when I was a teenager, and they brought me back into the fandom. So I was still very like trying not to fangirl and cry, but I kind of teared up a little bit. And I told Allison at the time, and she gave me a hug. So that was, but so those kind of going back to the story, those moments are just like, they mean so much to fans, and I'm like, that's one of those things. I'm like, I like kind of smaller cons sometimes, because you're able to have those moments where, like, if it's more of a, I don't know how to describe it, more I guess like a commercial convention, kind of like the Wizard World used to be. Like you're sometimes you're not able to get those interactions because line. Just you're like, you gotta go.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, I do have a fun photo here from the Instagram of that photo of you and Font and Aaron. If you
you found it.
I found it. I don't know if you're okay with me sharing it on the stream, but I will if you're okay with it.
I haven't. Hold on, I'm gonna have to check the stream on my phone. Let me see. Okay, why is it behind? Sorry.
Oh, no, I haven't shared it yet. I haven't.
I don't see it. I don't think.
Oh, no, it's on my computer. I haven't.
Okay, yeah.
Yet. I was asking if you're okay with me.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. I was like, I'm like, if it's on my cosplay, I'm like, it's pretty much up for open.
Okay.
I have way too much on there.
I just had to ask because I don't want to put up something you may not want out there in that way. So
no, I mean, pretty much, I think, everything I post on my Instagram is like stuff that I personally post. Is not. So I think we took several takes of those, but I mean, this is what 2019, so like right before COVID, and so this was like right, I think because it was early April and it was right before my birthday, so this is my first my first convention out of like the Austin, San Antonio, Central Texas area. So I was like, and I went to Houston and by myself, and so I, and so it like meant a lot. So I got like half of those signatures now because I met Copan in 17 at the first Morphinominal. Now I just need the other 3. But yeah, that like I said, that morpher I'm wearing is her morpher that she let me borrow.
That's
so
just totally
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
And did you say so you've met Font, Cahill, and Copan?
Yeah, Copan was at
Okay.
Morphinominal in 2017, which
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have
Look
the
at that
photos posted
morpher.
on that Instagram or on my other Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like so you'd have to scroll even further down to try and find it. But yeah, I got a picture with Copan back then as well. So yeah, that's half the time for team. But the team that I've met the most strangers of is actually Megaforce. So I've
met more of now.
Yeah, I've met 4 of the 6. Of which I've gotten to do either. Well, let's see. I morphed with 3 of them. Got to do a kick with 1 of them. So all while cosplaying Emma or Gia, of which I've gotten the approval of for the cosplays. Like I said, it was just like dressing up as the characters because it's not many fans do it. So like seeing that genuine surprise for having my cosplay both approved by Sierra as well as Christina was a whole, I'm just like, like inside kind of moment.
Just to okay, again, Muffin, I apologize for plugging this other con, but if you wanted a chance to if you wanted a chance to meet the other 3 Time Force actors, all 3 of those guys are here in Atlanta this year. So just
I can't, unfortunately, because of budget stuff and the timing of it, probably I can't afford it to travel all the way. Unfortunately, it's one of those like adult team comes first, and like between the last Atlanta and Morphinominal, I'm like, I have to stick with Morphinominal. It's like fair. But like, I mean, at one point I did want to go to Atlanta, but I'm like, again, it's like PMs. I'm like, can't really afford it, and it would take a lot of time and just trying to work out details with with the. And then so I'm just like, I would have liked to have experienced it at least once. And I keep telling myself, I'm going to do PMC. Never get around to it just due to bad planning.
Yeah.
Next year.
But yeah, I'm going to say if you can't get to either one, Texas has its own little mini convention.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think.
It's like, yes, it's not going to be as big as the other 2, but you still get there's still, it's kind of, the location is like, they don't call it a mall, but it feels like the top half feels like a mall. The bottom half, I guess it's like an old, I'm assuming, I don't know the history of this place. It felt like it could have been the bottom level of a mall. So there's just like a lot of space for you to walk around, but it's not like huge, but it's like, there's a lot of vendors just walking around. Like you get good exercise down there. And then the food court's down there. And then so like it's kind of smallish, but at the same time, because there's so many people, it doesn't feel so small at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, meeting the whole time, like the Time Force cast is one of those casts that's pretty easy to meet in their entirety. I mean, Kevin Kleinberg and Deborah Estelle Phillips aren't as active as Cahill, Southworth, Copan, and Font, but they still do. I feel like they've started doing conventions more. Like still not a lot, but they're starting to be a little bit more active. But I've met all 6 of them, and I mean, Deborah and Kevin. I remember having a great experience with. He was very talkative, interested in asking me a lot of questions. And Deborah Estelle Phillips was a total sweetheart. I did this interview with her that, unfortunately, due to audio issues, we weren't able to post. Riz, make a note that we're going to have to do that again this year.
On the list since I heard you announce, because I know you have to get your redemption arc met.
What was that?
You got to get your redemption arc.
Yeah, I'm totally going to do that.
Maybe maybe find like 2 have 2 microphones.
I mean, we have better equipment now.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully that'll.
I got this glorious mic that you can see in the camera right now, so that'll definitely help.
Yeah.
we've come a long way from when we first started doing the video aspect of Anime Secrets.
Yeah,
Nice.
back when we did that video, I was recording something on my phone. It was like a total potato-looking microphone.
It was so funny.
I mean, when I first started doing conventions, I was taking some of my photos on my Nintendo 3DS. And that was 10 years
Hey.
ago.
Oh,
So,
shit.
That's an OG thing.
yeah.
That's
I'm like,
a real
today's
throwback.
kids will
Nice.
never know.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, Dan Southworth though was always going to be a special experience for me because that was the first Power Ranger actor I ever met, and I grew up watching Time Force, so it was. And if you want to see how much of a fanboy I was, you could just go and watch that interview that I did with them on our YouTube page because you can
And there's a
tell that
plug.
I'm in complete shock throughout that whole process. And not only am I meeting a Power Ranger actor for the first time, but I'm interviewing him. That
Yeah,
is,
I've had that happen. I think more. I've had those kind of experiences more with when I'm meeting certain anime voice actors. Surprisingly, it's more with anime voice actors than Power Rangers. Even though you're like, you would think like at least if my family would be like, you're freaking out more about anime than Power Rangers. Even though you seem to have been more into Power Rangers more, it's just because I was like growing up, my only anime was Pokemon, and now as an adult, I'm like finally able to kind of access, finally watching the anime I like. And then there was one voice actor that kind of really got me like my segue into anime. You know how I started with one and then you just spiraled. And
Yep.
now
Yep.
every time I met this voice actor, my friends like, take a deep breath, don't freak out. And I'm like, I know. And I'm just like, don't fangirl. I'm like, I know. And then it just kind of because you get so excited to meet your favorite celebrity. So that's kind of like, and so I'm like, my friends just like, just take a deep breath. You've already met them. You're good. I'm like, I know, but it doesn't hurt to go say hi.
yeah.
I mean, I had that experience once or twice with celebrities. The most notable one I can still remember is my first Power Ranger interaction with, cliche as it might sound to the fandom, was JDF. I met him years ago before the convention scene really took off. And that was such a intimidating moment for me, being more new to like going to cons and stuff to meet the actor rather than going to hang with friends. And it was so surreal seeing this guy who I grew up watching from the time that I can remember until now just in front of me, shaking my hand. And yes, I completely get that. I even met like San Samel a couple of weeks ago at one of our cons here in Houston. He's the voice of Goku from Dragon Ball. That was also another one where I was like, what do I say? How do I tell him he was my childhood? And I know the words came out of my mouth on how you tell him, but at that time I was like,
You're like, it's like it happened so fast. I think my interaction the one time I met him, because I've never like really I never got into Dragon Ball, but I was grew up with Pokemon, and he was the voice of Lucario in the 8th Pokemon movie. So I think I remember recounting the story about every time I watched this movie, I cry. Lucario making me cry.
Yeah.
Every time. And I think I made some kind of mention of that when I met him a couple years ago. I think it was pre-pandemic. But yeah, that's my story with him.
Yeah.
So I get that. I had that happen last year when I met Veronica Taylor.
That's like, a cool one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
shit.
Again, that was NostalgiaCon. Again, in San Antonio. At this point, the guys are like, "Why don't you just move?" I was like, "One, all my main little bit of family I have is here in the Austin area, and two, I can't really afford it. So, yeah, Austin it is." So, like San Antonio's like, if I had to move, it would be San Antonio, because San Antonio has way more cons than I can keep track of at this point. It's like every month there's something going on down there.
That's like me in Houston. I don't even know half the cons going on around me. I just opened my phone a couple of weekends ago and I was like, oh, hey, there's an AnimeCon going on right now. So
And then it's like the way ads are nowadays. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this person is going to be at this convention. It's until last minute. I'm like,
Like in a few
I'm
hours,
usually a
they need to
last
pack
minute
them
person.
now.
yeah, so I found out about this like, a couple of days before. So I was like, tell my wife like, if you want, we can go. I wouldn't say no. So we went, hung out for a couple hours. It was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cons here in Atlanta too, and sometimes I hear about them and see that there's interesting people, and then there are other times where I see that somebody's going to be there, and I think I'll have another chance to meet them, and then they die later that year, and I completely beat myself up for not going to see them. So,
Oh, we're talking about Stan
yeah,
Lee.
yeah, I'm talking about Stanley.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was me as well. By the way,
yeah,
I had the chance to meet Stan Lee. I think a year before he passed.
yeah.
But I
Oh,
was
wow.
too busy with school, and I was like, well, I'll catch Stanley next year. Because he's come to that con every year for like the last couple of years before that. So I was like, well, I really got to focus on school. Let me do that. I'll see Stan next year. And then
Oh boy,
he,
Oh, man.
that was a
I think,
painful memory.
yeah, I think a lot of like the I guess I don't say the geeks, but I think a lot of like I know the comic community, like, and a lot of the fans, but obviously Marvel, and it hit everybody hard. Um, so I know for me, there's been voice actors and such that have passed away. I think the one that I didn't cry, but kind of hit me right in the feels, other than like JDF, was last year Rachel Lillis, again Pokemon anime,
oh yeah,
but because the thing is, she was scheduled to be at NostalgiaCon last year with Veronica Taylor, Eric Stewart, and a lot of the original Pokemon voice actors. So it was gonna be like the biggest reunion they'd had of that set of the voice actors up until that point. And they announced that she had canceled, and then eventually it came out that she had cancer, and then she eventually passed away, and so
yeah,
she couldn't, and so like it was, I think, if I remember correctly, she passed away sometime after the convention. So it was like it hurt, and like for me, what did, at least for me, like I was able to get her autograph, I think a while back before, because she had done a thing where like if you donated money and then you or something, and then you were able to send their email verifying you could get a autograph from her, and so fortunately I was able to get that autograph a couple years before last year, and so I was like, I may have never gotten a picture of her, but I do have this personalized print signed by her, and so it was like, so it's kind of, and then for with JDF, again, I wasn't able to crack it just because it just, I guess for me, just the way I process emotions, like it's hard, that and
yeah,
having chronic dry eye, it's hard for me to produce tears, but like it really, like it hurt in a way, because like I'd already met JDF twice, and both times he signed, like I had gone in for one thing to sign, he ended up signing, he saw that I had another thing, and he went ahead and signed it. So I know for us, I feel like JDF was like the Stanley of Power Rangers.
yeah.
Um,
He was,
yeah,
and I mean, I think I could speak for 95+% of the fandom when I say his presence is missed when we have these Ranger theme cons, because when he is at those cons, he brings such a spirit to them,
hmm
Because I've seen him a couple times now over the years before he passed, and his lines are insane. But
we are.
the time he gives you when you're with him, and that, it could be like less than a minute of his life he gives you, but he gives you that undivided
Yeah,
attention. And that is something that other Rangers, who I will not name, do not really give the undivided attention when you meet them. But that's like one small case of the fandom. Most of the other range directors that I've met have been fantastic, but JDF went above and beyond. He had that last man standing thing. And the coolest part for me, and it's like one of my more recent stories, Jenna Frank, his daughter, was at NostalgiaCon this past year, and I met her a couple of months prior to that at a TCGCon here in Houston. So I met her the first time. So I was going in for a surgery last March, so about a year ago. Actually, a year ago yesterday. And so I met her, I think 2 weeks before surgery, and I could barely stand in the line because I was in a lot of pain. And I think Jenna noticed that was going on. And so she walked over to me and said, "Hey, I know you're in line. I can just kind of see what's going on." And she interacted with me then and said, "Hey, let me give you a hug. Let me give you an autograph, and you can go. You don't have to stand in this line for me." And that was such a big deal to me because I was in pain. I couldn't do it.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
I saw her again in December after surgery. I recovered. I'm better. And when I got to her, she's like, "I know you. I know you from something." And I was like, "We met recently?" And she's like, "No, I know you." And she's like, "Oh my God, you look so much better." And I was like, homegirl remembered.
Nice. You should have been like, "That's right," because you're a big fan of our Anime Secrets podcast. You listen to it all the time. That's where you remember me from.
Yeah.
Got a little plug in right there.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a smarter promoter of my own work, but
That's cool that she recognized you, though, that she remembered that. Yeah.
But I'm an idiot when it comes to promoting my own work until it's too late. But no, it was really cool. That kind of stuff sticks out. And she has her father's personality for the last fan standing, because I saw her line. That line was, I'm not going to say it was like her dad's line by any means, but it's a sizable line. And she did not let go of the line. She did not say, "Hey, I'm taking a lunch break. Hey, I'm going to get some me time." She just stood there. She interacted. She gave her all. And she didn't just give like a quick 1 minute interaction and let them go. She talked to the fan, let them tell stories about her dad, them show photos of the dad, let them give gifts to her, and really give him like that one-on-one attention that so many people crave with his passing. And I think that's really awesome. I don't know how we got on this topic, but I'm glad we got here somehow.
We kind of spiraled.
Organic.
I mean, that's the magic of the podcast,
right? Dude, that's the magic of me just being me and tangenting off in directions that I can't remember how I got here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's me and my ADHD sometimes. It's like, oh, that reminds me of one thing, and so I get it.
Right?
See, this is why I'm thankful that Nathan writes outlines for the main series reviews we do for our podcast.
That's what we need to do on ours.
Keep me on task, because if we didn't have that, our podcasts might all end up being triple the time they are actually at right now. And then I blame Nathan for how long they go.
Yeah.
You're supposed to keep me on track and you didn't.
Yeah. But, it's getting a little bit late. I don't know how much more time you guys have.
I mean, pretty much, I can do,
really?
I mean, before midnight, or at least by no later than midnight, because I know I still have work tomorrow, but I can do midnight because I have insomnia some days, and today's one of those days.
Okay. But yeah, I'm down for whatever.
I mean, stories or wherever.
I don't know. I mean, I have a couple more stories.
Let's do a couple more stories and we can wrap it up. With a,
I'm trying to think. I have to remember which year it was, because I know we give Megaforce a lot of flack. I mean, in hindsight, I know it's like at this point, having met 2/3 of the team, I'll say that it's not their fault. It was production's fault. Like the more, like I know we've heard the stories that there was so much out of their control. That's all I will say. Having interacted with again 2/3 of the team, um, and I'm like, I know, and it's not their fault. I know we were giving them a lot of flack during those 2 years, but really, like you get to know them, and they've been some of the chillest people out there, at least from what I can recall. Let's see, more phenomenal, anything more phenomenal related. I got to do morph with the Andrew, because they had done a little like VIP sort of thing. I forget, it was like $50, back then. It was like, and you little like a special Q&A sort of thing, and I think I was the first one to do it. I got to ask him if I could do like a quick video and morph with him, and I did that. And then with Sierra, they had a little, like, what did they call it? The Morphin Art and Toy Show. It was like a one-off. It was like a one-off thing. But they brought Sierra, Hannah, and I got to do that's when I had cosplayed Gia for that specific occasion, and she really liked it. And I got to do like a quick video, like with the kick. You can probably find it on my Instagram as well, where I got to like kick with her. And then Christina, was it last year? It was last year, right? Yeah, because they had Christina. They were gonna have Christina, and then COVID happened, and then they were gonna have Christina again, but she had to reschedule. So they finally brought her again.
I think it was
after
the year
third time
before, probably.
they brought her, and I got to do a quick little video, like morph with her. And I know she really liked my Emma cosplay. And then sidetrack to when I met Azim at PMC Express. I showed up in my Emma cosplay. He really liked it because he was dressed up that day that I took my picture with him and did the video. He even wrote on my on the prank that I had signed. I think he commented on like nice morph on there. So those kinds of things I've been able to do. I've had a couple, one or two rangers give me they'll do they've done like an extra signature. Again, I know some of them, they're like, they don't have to do it, but they did it out of, I already had bought their signature, but some of them, because of whether the fan art or something else, and they did an extra signature. So I've had just kind of stuff like that. Just stuff. I've had those little interactions with them. And then also, I think when I met Claire Blackwilder, Dino Charge Purple, I know I cosplayed her a lot that year, and even I remember Adam. So if it was like, I think I had to go. Oh, that was the year I had to leave early, because normally I would stay both days, but I had to leave early because I had an assignment due for school that Sunday. So I went home early. I just stayed for Saturday, and it was like last minute, like get whatever autographs, and I didn't get all of them that year for I forget what reason, but it was all like, she's been cosplaying as you. It's just kind of fun to see their genuine reaction at it, because like some of them, like each time, all three of them instantly recognize the outfit, like even though it's not an exact replica, it was like close enough that it's like boom, they knew who I was cosplaying as. Like, yeah. So that's always fun. There was a year I cosplayed as In Space Yellow, because they had Christopher K. Lee.
Right.
Yeah. So he that was a whole fun experience as well.
That's when I want to meet still.
Yeah. And then I think, was it the year before that they had Justin Nemo? He was really cool as well, from what I remember. I don't know if there's anything. Oh, and then 2 years ago when they had half of the Dino Fury team, I got to take, for a little bit, I got to help out, like take photos for them. And it was, I mean, I know Hunter Dino really liked my Amelia cosplay at the time. Because that, and then I had cosplay. I'd done Roxy from Beast Morphers, and they had Liana as well. So she, again, also definitely appreciate, because again, I don't think there'd been any Roxy cosplayers at that point either. And she had seen, she already had been made aware of the cosplay all the way back in 2019 when I wore it for PMC Express, and somebody had stopped me at PMC Express that year. And they're like, hey, Liana's seeing your cosplay. Like, she had seen my photo, I guess, photo of my cosplay of me at the convention. And they're like, they showed me the message. She really liked it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I finally got to meet her in 2019. So that was a full circle coming, because in 2018, I had actually won a copy of her book. So again, it was a full circle moment to bring it back from like what started in Houston. And because it's fun though, because fun fact, she's actually from Austin originally before she moved to California. So it was like, she's got roots here. And so you'd be surprised at like how many actors have ties to Texas.
Oh
It's
my
so
God,
weird.
it's insane. Like,
So many.
I think there's actually a number of Ranger actors living in San Antonio
Yeah.
area. I'm not going to name them on stream,
But I'm just gonna
if
say,
you
I
know,
think
you
there's
know.
several of them living in Texas in general. Like, I think
Oh
it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I'm like, are we a Ranger magnet now, or what?
I think we are. Also, you mentioned a Dino Fury Cosmic Fury cast, and I just had to pull up the photo that Nate and I took last year.
I'm in the
Nice.
suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The suits. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, we had the other cast members at the con, but they didn't have their suit, so we couldn't get like Russell Curry. I'm trying to remember. I am blanking hard.
Hold
Sarah
on.
Turner, I think is his name.
Yeah. That's his
Oh
name.
wait, he played
Her dad.
her dad, Amelia's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I figured that would be kind of a harder suit to get, though, right?
but it'd be so cool if he had it.
I mean, either someone's gonna have to make for it. Like, you know how it is. Either someone gives it to them, or
Yeah.
they end up having to commission it. Which having it commissioned isn't
But these
depending
suits
on.
that they're wearing are actually from production.
They had to keep the production suits,
Nice.
Yeah.
or did they have to do the thing where they had to sneak it off set? Because I've lost track of how many Rangers have said they've had to sneak stuff off set. I know, I remember RPM saying they snuck their jackets off the set.
Which I would have done too.
Yeah, and then Dino Charge they actually got to keep their Energems.
There are two stories that I heard at RSP. One, I think we have on video from the Dino Thunder cast panel, and I think it was Jeff Perazzo and ZDF. ZDF was already in the wardrobe area on one of the last days of filming, stealing his suit when Jeff walks in to do the same thing. So Jeff walks in, looks at ZDF, and ZDF's like, "Come on, help me." And then the other one has to do with Hector David Jr. I know there's some controversy with his name right now, but the story is still pretty funny. He stole his suit too from Dassault. I think, Nate, do you remember the story exactly? It was something like he snuck it in a bag or something and had to sneak it out.
Yeah, and then Najee, the guy who played Kevin, like caught him, and I think he did something along the lines of just looking at him and be like, "Oh no, you didn't! Please tell me you didn't do it."
Yeah.
And then he was all like, "Yeah, I did it."
Yeah.
The irony of you saying that, I can hear their voices, because that would be such a. The thing is, though, that particular interaction, I can clearly see it in my head, because it would be such a such a canon moment, though, in the season, though.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can already picture their the disappointed looking Najee. I'm just picturing Mike and Kevin at this point.
I mean, Kevin's probably like, "You gotta go off and train more, guy."
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, guys, we should probably wrap it up here. I have to get up early for work, and I gotta be that guy, I think, to end the fun. But I do want to say thank you to both of you for coming on.
Yep.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Love
you.
Muffin, if you want to give the deets one more time for the con, time,
Uh,
location.
Yeah, I believe the time hours itself will be from like 10 to 5 for both days. But if you need to double check, because I'm also frazzled brain right now with how late it is, you can go to morphinominal.org. They'll have all the info there, all the opportunities to buy the photo ops, to get your wristbands early so you don't have to wait in line. You can just get ready to go in and out. It's March 29th and the 30th at Wonderland of the Americas in San Antonio, Texas. It's gonna be a fun time. We got Christiane, Peter Sidarso, Red Fisher, we got Yasuhisa Furuhara, we got Monica May herself. It's gonna be a star-studded cast. They're gonna have the VIP dinner going. We're still looking into an after-party venue. But at the end of the day, you can just come hang out with us, have a good time. It's free entry, just like $10 to $15 just to get into the celebrity area. That's nothing. That's chump change. That's more money for you to get more autographs that you want to go spend it on that action figure, which I'll be on the lookout too. I'm gonna be getting my collectibles. I can't wait to see everybody there. Can't wait to hang out with everyone. I believe that's pretty much all the info I got. Remember to like and subscribe to these guys here at Anime Secrets. It's more phenomenal on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Share our post, like everything, follow these guys, make sure you support them. It's a fun time here. I appreciate you guys really having me on here. It was a fun time.
We appreciate you coming on.
We love having you on, and I'm going to add a couple of notes to things that I think are cool in show notes for Morphinominal Expo. I believe this is the first Texas appearance for Go On Red.
Oh, yeah.
Monica May,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you said Christy Ann in one of your posts at one point.
Yeah, Christy, and she doesn't really do cons at all, so
yeah,
that was a big surprise for us. Yeah.
So I mean, look,
I remember when Anthony and I met. We were talking to the guy who played the Gold Ranger there because he was at the restaurant where we were having dinner at, and he came to sit with us. He told us that Christy Ann's very like personal, doesn't really do cons that much. So that's probably one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah, same for us, man. She's like, I don't really do these, but like I kind of want to give it a chance just because she heard what we're about and you know how we go about things. So she's like, that seems kind of more in line with with what I'm comfortable with and doing. And
yeah,
you know, she was just kind of nervous. Like, I don't know if people are gonna want to see me, but I know Texas and people around the world are gonna show up for her. So I think she's gonna be pleasantly surprised.
And you know, I think this is a good convention for her to come to. It's Power Ranger themed. She has a bigger like section of people who are going to want to see her. Right. But then also the thing that I love the most, and the reason I keep supporting Morphinominal Expo without ever having been to a dang show myself, is the community building that you guys have done is phenomenal. I love your Discord. I love hanging out with you guys and getting to know y'all. I think what you guys have been building here in San Antonio is amazing. It's a little bit more unspoken. Not many people know about it. But guys, seriously, you have a really good chance to meet some more of the rare actors from Sentai and Rangers that, you know, you don't really get a chance to meet very often, all in one place in San Antonio. It's not that far away for us in Houston, but it's just a plane ride for some of y'all. So hop on that plane, fly on down to San Antonio. Let's have a good party and, you know, have some good fun.
Yeah, good fun, man. Join the Discord too. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. You know, we like chatting it up on there. I get busy with work, so I don't really respond as much as I should on there, but I do end up reading it. It kind of helps pass the time for me. So I like it. It's like you said, that's what it's about at the end. It's building that community, and it's just us just finding new people to hang out with to share our love of Super Sentai and Power Rangers and Tokusatsu in general, you know, because you know, it's what we wanted. We wish we had a community like that back in the day, so we decided why not make our own. I like where it's become, and it's where I met a lot of my best friends, you know, and you never know who you guys are going to meet either, man. We always love making new friends and having new people join our community. So we're always there with open arms for everybody.
But with that, Nathan, I'm going to assume you'll do our closeout, given you're really good at it.
Yep. We thank everybody for joining us. We want to thank our two guests here. Definitely go out and check out Morphinominal Expo. And have your fun. Definitely go meet those actors. Definitely going to be a great time. Well, hopefully this won't be the well, actually no, not even hopefully. This will definitely not be the last time that we have Love Muffin on and some of the other more phenomenal crews. So yeah, we thank everybody for joining us on this live stream. Definitely check out More Phenomenal Expo if you don't have any plans to, and you're able to get down there. And we'll catch you guys next time when we resume our regular podcast schedule. But until then, everybody stay safe. Bye for now.